The untouchable True School Sports Empire probably presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this is 90 Days of Boxing, day number 42. Good to be here again. Good to be talking to you guys. This time from a different time zone, from a different coast, from a whole different, part of the USA, and that's I've officially arrived in upstate New York. I'm out here in upstate New York. My first time out here in upstate New York for the Kholmatov Raymond Ford fight. You guys know that I've been talking up this fight for a long time here on True School Sports. It's a fight that I've been really looking forward to for some months now. And tomorrow it finally happens. Tomorrow we get to see what's what and who's who. And best of luck to both men. Best of luck to Kholmatov. Best of luck to Ford. Um, I dropped my breakdown video on it earlier, so if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. Shout out to the guy people in the comment section, Michael Manning and this other guy that left some super thanks, just to support the channel. Those go a long way, so I appreciate you guys so much for supporting me. But look, I'll be here. I'll be here for about an hour. So if y'all want to talk some boxing, get your questions in. Feel free to let them down below. I did get a chance to watch a little bit of the weigh-in. Raymond Ford looked like he ready to fight. Odebek Kontov looked like he ready to fight. Rhea Abe looked like he's ready to fight. Venaro Lopez looked like he's ready to fight. So I'm just excited for the card. I think for the first quarter of this year, this card is actually one of the ones I've been excited about the most. And I know it's not the biggest card. I know it's not like the big names. It's not big time boxing, as far as like marketability and names are concerned. But man, I'm just happy to be here in upstate New York. And I gotta tell you, man, I just got into my Airbnb where I'm staying, and literally, man, like upstate New York reminds me of New Hampshire. I used to live in New Hampshire when I was like a kid for like a year, and reminds me a lot of New Hampshire. So shout out to everybody here. There's 70 of you guys here. Make sure you smash the like button so that this video gets pushed out to all the YouTube algorithms and whatnot. And shout out to Hyro. He says, "Does it have to be about boxing?" No, not necessarily, man. I'm a little tired, so some non-boxing questions to get me excited would suffice. But we'll keep it as much boxing as possible. But you guys are free to ask any sort of non-boxing questions you want. Michael Ryan Pitts, what's good, champ? Good to see you. Hope all is well. He said, "What's up, brother?" I'm good, man. I'm out here and way out. I'm basically in Canada. I'm upstate New York for this fight tomorrow. WBA vacant featherweight title fight. Odebek Kholmatov from Uzbekistan versus Raymond Ford from Camden, New Jersey. Really good fight. A lot of storylines going into the fight. The first world title fight in the featherweight division this year. I think the featherweight division is going to be the most exciting weight class in boxing, and it's one of two featherweight world title fights, so you can't really beat it. Enrique Luna, shout out to Enrique Luna, a longtime viewer of the channel. He says, how's the weather in New York, Brendan? Well, good to see you, Enrique. The weather in New York, in this part of New York, listen, there's snow on the ground, people. I'm from South Florida. I've lived up north before, so I have seen snow, but it's been probably about it's been a solid like 5 years since I've seen any snow on the ground. So it was kind of cool to see some snow on the ground. Yeah, it's not as cold as I thought it would be here in upstate New York. So I like that. I like the fact that it's not as cold. But listen, we're here. It's gonna be a short trip. We're not gonna be here for a long time, but a good time. And yeah, and then by Monday morning, we'll be back in sunny South Florida. So happy days. But shout out to everybody here. Get your questions in. Make sure you smash that like button. What else happened in boxing today? I didn't really check the news today, but if y'all got anything y'all want to say, let me know. I know a lot's been made in boxing about David Benavidez. Some people have been criticizing David Benavidez because he said that he wouldn't break his PBC contract to go over to the zone and fight Canelo. So now that's got people going back and forth about that. Let me check the news, man, while I'm sitting here. But I'll tell you this. I think this is going to be a very good short trip because when I was getting off my plane, shout out to my man John. This dude John on the plane came up to me and he was like, "Hey, are you True School Sports? Don't you have a boxing channel?" And I said, "Yeah, that's me." So then I took a little short, and he was really cool, man. So it's pretty cool. I'm going on planes now, and people are recognizing me here, just as I travel. So I'm like a little fake celebrity now. So that's kind of cool, I guess. But let me see, man. What we got going on in boxing? Falling Star says, what's your favorite New York tourist destination? Well, Falling Star, I'm not in New York City. I'm in the part of New York they don't talk about New York State. I'm in upstate New York. So that's more closer to Canada. You're thinking about New York City, like Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan. But my favorite thing to do when I'm in New York City is I like to go to the pizza spots like LMB's Pizza, New York Pizza Suprema. Those are some of the true school spots, the eating spots. Is it true that New York pizza is the real deal? It's really good, you know. Who wins versus Brian Norman Jr. and Janelson Boca Chica? That's a good fight. That's one of the fights on the card that I am looking forward to. And then look, listen, it's been a rough go of form for Janelson Boca Chica, Janelson Figueroa Boca Chica. I was at his last fight when he fought Alberto Palmetta because I was on the same card as Angelo Leo versus Nicholas Polanco. That was back in November. So I'm second straight Boca Chica fight I'm going to. I think it's a fight. It's actually a pick-em fight. It's a crossroads fight because Brian Norman Jr., even though he beat Quentin Randall, he looked very pedestrian, and his experience level in boxing isn't the highest. So they're putting him in there with an experienced veteran, a guy that's been ranked top 15, but a guy that's been on a losing form. And I'm gonna say it like this: if Janelson Figueroa can't win this fight, it's gonna be it for him. I mean, he'll just be an opponent the rest of his career. So he's got to win this fight to turn his career around. As far as prediction, I haven't studied the fight enough to have a legit prediction. But if I had to they'll probably give it to Norman because he's the top ranked guy. But I'm actually gonna slightly lean towards Janelson Figueroa. I think he could outbox Norman if he could withstand the onslaught. Did you see Justin Paulo get robbed? I haven't even watched that card yet. I'm probably gonna watch it tomorrow morning before I go out to the Hall of Fame. Just so you guys know, tomorrow probably late in the morning or early afternoon, I'm gonna be doing a live from the Hall of Fame, the International Boxing Hall of Fame. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys make your plans for that one. But yeah, you'll get 2 lives in a pretty short space of time. Michael Ryan Pitts says, Daniel Dubois recognized you. Do you remember? Yeah, he did. How could I forget? I do remember that. Yeah, Daniel Dubois recognized me. He was like true school sports. Yeah, I remember that. That was at the Trevor Bryan card. Of course. Shout out to Triple D. What are your thoughts on Rohan Polanco? Yeah, he's fighting on the card. I forgot who he's fighting. I think he's fighting. Let me see. Who was Rohan Polanco fighting? I've been so zoned in on the featherweight fights. Like, really, all I care about is the damn featherweight division. Hyro says, I carry for Munguia, man. Can't wait for the Mexican parade. Yeah, I was trying to figure out earlier in the day, Hyro, why you were dick riding Jaime Munguia when I was on the plane, and then I pulled up boxing scene, and I guess him and Canelo are gonna fight now. So that's why you were dick riding him earlier in the day. You were getting excited that Canelo Alvarez is trying to fight Jaime Munguia. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, Rohan Polanco. Who's Rohan Polanco even fighting? I forgot who he was fighting. He's fighting Tariq Zaina. And I saw Tariq Zaina fight on a random card one time. He's this dude from like Albania or some random country. He trains in Mexico. From what I remember he's from Morocco. So from what I remember about Tariq Zaina, who's fighting Rohan Polanco, I think Rohan should get the job done. But we'll see. I haven't watched him in his last couple of fights. So I don't know how he's developed. But Hurricane Hank says he's going to lose. Who's he? And Rocky Austin says Odebek Kholmatov by knockout. Yes. I feel like if the Odebek from the gym, the guy I've seen in the gym spar, if that guy shows up, that's a high probability. But I'm gonna go with Odebek Kholmatov, as you guys saw my breakdown. I'm actually gonna go with him by decision. I think he'll outwork Ford. I think Ford will have some good moments in the first 4 to 5 rounds, and get touched up with something he don't like, and then Odebek Kholmatov will start to pick up the pace as the fight progresses, and then Ford will make the conscious decision to go into survival mode, and he'll be too crafty and too elusive to not get knocked out, but he'll lose the fight. Something like that. Something like a 116, 112, 117, 111 workman-like performance for Odebek Kholmatov. But look, I could be wrong. I'm excited that Ford has an opponent that people think he's gonna lose to, that he's had to be sharp for, because Raymond Ford is a confidence fighter. He's a fighter that when I feel like when people say he's not going to win, he'll probably fight better. So I'm looking to see some things from Raymond Ford in this fight. Maybe I haven't seen before, which excites me. So that's why we're here in New York to see what's what. Hyro says, why aren't you watching Jonathan Gonzalez? I thought you cared for those weight classes. Because I just got off the plane and I'm almost in Canada and I've been flying for 5 hours, Hyro. I'll watch Jonathan Gonzalez in due time. When I get home on Monday, just so you know, guys, because there's a lot of boxing that I didn't get a chance to watch. when I get home on Monday, Tuesday, and probably Wednesday, I'm supposed to be catching up on boxing. So you guys might get videos for fights that happened a month ago or 2 weeks ago. So yeah, that's why. Uh, what are your thoughts on Joel Diaz training Odebek Kholmatov? That's actually one of the things I'm not really a big fan of it because I thought Odebek Kholmatov and Timur Bragimov was working just fine, and I'm not really a big fan of changing your team going into the fight. And I actually think that that could be a drawback for Odebek. Going into the fight, that's actually that actually to me kind of bumps Raymond Ford chances up a little bit, just because when you have a new coach, you have a new trainer, you've never been under the lights, you're gonna do that for the first time under the lights. I mean, it's just I'm not a fan of it personally, but Joel Diaz has a lot of experience training Uzbeks like Merjan, like Madrimov. So I feel like if there was ever a coach that he was gonna switch to from Timur, that'd probably be the guy, just because of his experience with Uzbek fighters. Would you rate Elvis Rodriguez higher than Ergashev and Ponce? Is there any setup for Matias since Golden Boy fighters Tio and Haney won't fight him? Would I rate him above Ergashev and Ponce? I'd rate him slightly above Ponce. And I might rate him and Ergashev about the same. I think Ergashev is a more talented fighter, but I think maybe based on what I've seen from Ergashev that night, Elvis might just be a bit more durable than the Ergashev that fought Matias. But we'll see. Elvis is a good fighter. Where's Andrade? I don't know where Andrade is. I don't know, man. I'm not. Where's Andrade? Where's Waldo? I don't know, Ruben. Your guess is as good as mine. Will Marcos Hernandez cause Troy Isley any problems? He's a tough, durable opponent. I think this is a step down from Vladimir Hernandez. Like, he's fighting another Hernandez, but I don't think he's gonna be as tough and as game, as formidable as a guy like Vladimir. Because Vladimir is like one of the toughest gatekeepers in boxing. Yeah, I guess Canelo's trying to fight Munguia now, so good for him. Let's see what else happened in boxing. Arnold Barbosa. So I guess Arnold Barbosa Jr. said he's the backup fighter if Ryan Garcia pulls out of the Haney fight, which makes a lot of sense because I was just saying that pretty much if I'm of the mindset that the Devin Haney is about to start fighting a bunch of Golden Boy fighters real soon, honestly. Because you look at the way Oscar's been talking at the press conference, look at the way Devin's been talking at the press conference. It just sounds like Devin Haney's worked with everybody else. He's been a top ranked fighter. He's been a matchroom fighter. He's been all over the board. His dad does a good job of keeping him promotionally flexible. He ain't been a Golden Boy fighter yet, so I could see Devin going on a Mexican tour of like Barbosa, Jose Ramirez, that type of run. Just throwing it out there. Shout out to my guy, Coach Malachi Williams. Yes, True Media Boxing Radio. Soon to be syndicated True Media Boxing Radio. Good to see you, my brother. It was nice meeting you out in Las Vegas a couple weeks back. He said, salute, Brendan, and keep up the good work. And I would say likewise to you. Make sure you guys go subscribe to, Coach Malachi Williams, putting in a lot of hard work. I saw on your Instagram about the Top Rank Gym. Do you see any great new talent that nobody knows about? Did I see any new great talent that nobody knows about? So when I was at Top Rank Gym, there's two fighters that I've known about for years that I saw at Top Rank Gym, because I went to Top Rank Gym twice. The day I posted about it on Instagram was actually the second day I went. But there's two fighters that I've known about for like 7 years, because when I first went to Las Vegas in 2017, I was covering like the amateur shows, so I covered like the Silver Gloves. And there was two kids in 2017 that I interviewed. One kid name was Ethan Smith, and the other kid's name was Akeem Cheatham. Now, those are familiar names to me, but I know a lot of boxing fans don't know those guys. Akeem Cheatham's like 2-0, very skillful fighter, has a very unique style, sits on his back foot, but also shifts in the middle combinations. Ethan Smith's a tall, lanky, polished outside boxer. He was like a 10-time national champion. I actually interviewed him recently. He sparred with Tim Zhu. So I would say, if I had to answer your question, the two fighters that I saw in the gym that nobody knows about that you should be looking out for in the future are Akeem Cheatham and Ethan Smith. Ethan Smith turns pro March 9th. He has a little fight in Utah. And then Akeem Cheatham, I think he's like 1-0 or 2-0. So those are the two guys. Harold says, BT, you gotta make a video about Javon Walton. Remember that video about a kid shooting? Yeah, yeah. A lot of people are asking me about him now. I don't have an opinion on Javon Walton, but I know you used to gas him up. He's fighting on Golden Boy. Don't you see the Golden Boy as the main promoter for the fight? Eddie can't promote. Yeah, Harold, tell him how you feel about Eddie here, Harold. Shout out to Koki. He says, I wonder if Kurt Scooby has a fight coming up. I know he's trying to climb the ranks at 140. I hope to see him in there with Kenneth Sims Jr., Liam Paro, Gary Anton Russell, Shojahan Ergashev, and Jukabayev. Mixed up at 140 for a title. Yeah, those are all amazing fights. Kurt Scooby is a very explosive, very talented, upcoming contender in the division. And I would love to see Kurt Scooby again, in with all those guys. I mean, you mentioned Jukumbayev. Give me that fight. Give me Kurt Scooby versus Jukumbayev. Two explosive punches. I mean, I'm always down for two explosive punches to fight each other. But guys, I'm on Boxing Scene right now, and I'm reading some quotes because I guess Boxing Scene interviewed Otabek Kholmatov and got some quotes from him leading into the fight, and I kind of want to just read you guys the quotes and then give my thoughts on them. So here's what Kholmatov said about Raymond Ford heading into the fight tomorrow. He stated the following, and I quote, "This fight is just the beginning of my journey and towards the pinnacle of the sport, glory, and universal recognition. My whole country is at home waiting for my victory because boxing is the most popular sport in Uzbekistan. I always have my country behind me. I am thoroughly prepared. I never felt so good, to be honest. We worked a lot on improving my defense," which I'll be honest with you, being someone that's seen Otabek spar a lot in the gym, he did need to improve his defense. But he then went on by saying, "I see nothing but victory for me in Uzbekistan on Saturday, and I'm very excited about Raymond Ford." He then went on talking about Ford, and he kind of downplayed Ford. He was meaner than I was, right? At least I gave Ford some credit in my video. I said, look, Raymond Ford could fight. Raymond Ford's a skillful fighter. He's athletic, but Otabek ain't being as nice as your boy BT was. He's saying, and I quote, he said, "I don't think Ford is very good. I really don't expect much from Ford at all. He doesn't have any power. I don't think he'll last more than 5 rounds with me. You will see. Just like in all my previous fights, you will see another beautiful knockout. Ford is nothing special. Lee Wood was never a real champion. He was afraid to fight me, and otherwise he would have faced the challenges. My name, not his, will remain in the history in the world of boxing." So there you go. Otabek Kholmatov talking his shit. You don't really speak English, but I'll tell you this: the little bit of English Otabek spoke to me one time in the gym. He was talking a lot of shit one time. Because one time I asked Otabek, this is like back in August, back when he was still training in Florida. I said, "Otabek, man, what you think about fighting Inoue? I want to see you fight Inoue." And you know what he said to me? He said he did this. He said, "Too small." That's what he said. So he's a confident guy. And now if he's sitting here saying that Raymond Ford won't last 5 rounds, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, and I'm just being objective here. Ford needs to get his respect early, with a solid shot, and preferably a solid counter shot. Because if he can put that, if Ford can plant that seed of doubt in Otabek's head early and get his respect, then that would change the whole complexion of the fight. But I'm telling you right now, if he can't do that, it's gonna be a very tough night to work for him, and we'll see how it goes. Nick Rafford said, "Great interview with Zepeda recently. How do you think the fight with Dalton Smith will go?" I have to watch more film on Dalton Smith. I've seen him fight one time, and I remember when I watched the fight, I wasn't like overly impressed. But Dalton Smith is getting a version of Jose Zepeda that's been through a lot of wars, and a guy that really and truthfully, I don't know how much he has left in the tank. So when I talked to him, Zepeda was really adamant that he's gonna prove a lot of people wrong, and it really, this is his world title fight, because if he can't beat Dalton Smith in decisive fashion, he's gonna take a loss. I mean, he knows that going in, because Dalton Smith is a big rising star in the UK. There's this big rivalry over there now with him and Adam Azim, so he's got to go out there and beat the brakes off of him, honestly. And I don't really have the best answer for that. I just remember Dalton Smith, from what I remember watching Dalton Smith fight, I remember him being a British fighter who had a little bit of speed, not crazy speed, but just a little bit of speed. Textbook British fighter, 1-2 just down the middle. I think Zepeda is gonna have to maintain a good, solid work rate and be the crafty veteran. I saw him spar in the gym, and I won't get too deep into the sparring sessions, but Zepeda has a lot of craft to him. He gets the reputation for being a guy that's just like a come forward, all action guy, but he can be a crafty guy in there, be defensively sound, be sharp, and I think he's a little more than people give him credit for. So I think it's going to be a tough fight, and I'm rooting for him. But I don't really have like a prediction right now. My mind is just on Otabek Kholmatov, Raymond Ford, Rhea A versus Bernardo Lopez. Those fights, what I'm here for in New York. But as that fight gets closer, as I do more film study, I will put out a video, and I'll give you guys my thoughts. Once I get back home to South Florida, there's a lot of content to catch up on. So I can't even begin to tell you. Let me see what else. By the way, shout out to everybody here, man. Showing 30 people here for the impromptu, just random live. I appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button. We here. It's the Untouchable. Feeling good, feeling great. Hurricane Hank said, have you heard of Abdul Malik Kakalov? No, I haven't. You put me on game. Have you given your views, opinions on the Zutherman undercard fights? Nobody seems to be talking about them. Are they not championship fights as well? I've done a video about Boachuk and Fundora. I think I did a video about Rolly and Pitbull. I'll tell you this: the fight that speaking of the undercard, the fight that I think you should look out for, because I've been told it's a good matchup. I got to do my own research, but Carmel Moen's fighting in his third or fourth pro fight, and he's taking on this 8-0 kid named Anthony Cuba, who I heard is pretty solid. He's 8-0. They say he's gonna come to fight. They say he can fight a little bit. So that's probably the fight I'm looking forward to, because I've been seeing. I'm in New York now, but I was in Vegas for a month, a solid month. I was in Vegas, and I seen Carmel Moen spar about 3 times, and the kid is really good. I mean, and I saw him spar some high level fighters. I mean, he's really, really good. He just needs to. Carmel needs to really just keep developing and getting better sparring and seeing more looks, and raw talent. Amazing. I mean, he's got a natural combination puncher. I mean, so I'm looking forward to seeing him really, honestly, like when I go to that fight next month or later on this month, because it's March now. It's crazy. It's already March. I'll be as excited to see Carmel Moen fight as anybody. But yeah, Otabek Kholmatov, he's out here talking about, he's not just going off on Ford, he's going off on Lee Wood. He said Lee Wood is a fake ass champion, and he said that he was afraid, and that his name won't be in boxing history. It'll be Otabek's name. So listen, man, we'll see how it goes. Otabek Kholmatov has to kind of undo the wrong, like Shojahan Ergashev set Uzbek boxing back about a year. So he's got to kind of restore some honor and respect and credibility. I'll tell you right now, Raymond Ford knocks out Otabek or beats him decisively, Uzbek are gonna start being known as hype jobs. Like, honestly, Rolly might expose Pitbull. I think the Chihuahua is mad overrated. I think Rolly can expose Isaac Cruz, only because Isaac Cruz is a guy that likes to, come forward and push you back and really get in your chest. Rolly can offset that with his physical strength on the inside. But I think what's really going to be the key for Rolly is not just his physical strength, but more so, did he clean up did he get any better with Salas from boxing at range? Because we know Rolly can punch. We know he's physically strong, and we know that he's athletic. He's very athletic in the weight class. So that's probably in my opinion, not the real main event on that card, but the second best fight on that card, behind Boachuk and Fundora. Boachuk and Fundora, hands down, the best fight on that card. No doubt about it. My man Steven wants to know, how did I score Tia versus Jermaine Ortiz? I thought Jermaine Ortiz won by like a point or two, but I haven't watched it back on the telecast. I'm just going off of when I was actually in the arena, and I thought he won. J.S. Gonzalez, what's good, champ? He says, saludos to you, man. Good to see you. Good to see everybody here, man. I can't believe I even mustered the energy up to go live, but we here. We're being professional, we're being disciplined, and we're talking that world-class boxing talk, the night before Kholmatov and Ford. What else we got? Ismael Barroso KOs both Rolly and Cruz. The old man's been doing his thing. Wilson versus Valdez looks to be a live wire. That's a good fight. I like that fight a lot. I think it's Liam Wilson's fight to win, honestly. You got Valdez coming in, losing fights, shop worn, still a good fighter. He's still a name, but Liam Wilson should do the business. I feel he should find a way to do the business and beat Oscar Valdez. I'll be at that fight. I'll be out there in Arizona next month. So if any of you guys in the chat are going to be in Arizona next month or later this month for the Valdez Wilson fight in Sinisa Estrada Yokovai, let me know. I like to meet my subscribers. I like to meet people that support True School Sports, and vice versa. Same thing goes for tomorrow. If any of you guys are here in upstate New York and you happen to be at Kholmatov versus Ford, let me know. Get in touch with me on Instagram or Twitter. I'm very easy to reach, and definitely go ahead and say what's up. What are your Brian Noman Jr. Janelson Figueroa predictions? I'm sure Brian Noman Jr. is the favorite, and for good reason. I mean, he's a top ranked fighter, right? But just based off their styles, like I haven't even studied that fight that deeply, but like just based off their styles, I feel like Figueroa could outbox him. I really do. Figueroa has been losing to everyone. I mean, he lost to Roman Villa, he lost to Palmetta. So it might be time for him to lose to Norman. But at the same time, it's like I genuinely feel like Top Rank might have looked at that Brian Norman last performance against Quentin Randall, and they might have said, you know what, we're gonna put him in a sink or swim fight. We're gonna put him in a sink or swim fight and see what he's really got. And they put him in there with a guy who isn't no world, like Janelson Figueroa, Boca Chica. He's not no world beater, but he's a competent boxer. He knows way around the ring. I think he's very capable of outboxing Norman. Honestly, I'm kind of that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Just Janelson Figueroa decision, but that's just without no film study. That's without me even thinking about it. I've been so focused on Kholmatov Ford that I haven't even really like put too much stock into that one. That the Jared Anderson card looks weak. Is there even going to be a Jared Anderson card? Because I saw a report that he got arrested again for obstructing the police or something like that. So, is there going to be a Jared Anderson card? I'm pretty sure he probably got bailed out already. But you know that's one of the weaker cards Top Rank has put on in a while. I mean, I know you got Ruben Villas on that card. I think Abdullah Mason on that card. So you got some good talent on the card. But so far from what I've seen, not any like real standout matchups or anything like that. So it is what it is, man. I gotta say, man, this little Airbnb I got, it was pretty damn good. I didn't think it'd be this nice for the money I paid for it. It was pretty good, But shout out to everyone here, man. We got about a half hour and some change. Your boy BT. The 90 Days of Boxing live series continues the night before Kholmatov Ford here on True School Sports. Day one of a very short trip tomorrow. I'm gonna be live at the International Boxing Hall of Fame, so make sure y'all tune in for that one. Gonna be really, really fun. DB Boxing fan, what's good? We see you, champ. We see you. We see you in the chat. And I'm really excited to see this whole Rhea Abe versus Venado Lopez fight. I've been sleeping on that fight. That's the other title fight on the card. They're fighting for the IBF belt. Venado has to really come out here and put people on notice, because a lot of people have been playing with his name, saying that he's the weakest champion of the bunch. And he's got a guy in Rhea Abbey, a guy that, this guy, Rhea Abbey, works a part-time job. Rhea Abbey is a good skill southpaw, but I wouldn't put him in the class of the other Japanese, like, great fighters right now, like Kenshiro or Inoue. But he's good. So I think it's the classic Mexico versus Japan matchup. You got one guy in Venado who just relies on letting his hands go and being fast and whatnot. Keeps his head right there in the center line. His chin's literally in the air, and he's like this, right? But he's unorthodox, and he makes it work for him. And then you got Rhea Abbey, southpaw, has that good skilled Japanese base. Sharp puncher, not a big puncher, but a sharp puncher. Mobile, So it's a good fight. A lot of Japanese fighters don't have, to Hyro's point, because I know Hyro's probably in the chat somewhere, a lot of Japanese fighters get that luxury of fighting in Japan for the title. He's not getting that luxury. He has to come to the States. And not only does he have to come to the States, he has to come to Verona, New York, of all places. Could you imagine that? No, like, all respect to Upstate New York. I like Upstate New York from what I've seen so far. It's like, it reminds me a lot of New Hampshire. And I liked New Hampshire when I lived there. But, like, you imagine coming to America for the first time and you go to Verona, New York, first city you ever go to? I mean, kind of get cheated. Do you think Ryan versus Haney will do at least 1 million buys? They are doing a good job promoting it already, but it's hard to get over 1 million nowadays. Even the major Spanish channels are promoting it. I don't think it'll do 1 million. But I do think it'll do. I think it's gonna touch over 500,000 plus. We'll go 500,000 plus. They seem to be getting a lot of attention. I think all the antics of Ryan marrying these Instagram thoughts on Instagram, that's gonna reach a whole new audience. Devin, it has a big fight feel. Like, you see some fights that actually are big fights, but they don't have that big fight feel. And this fight has that big fight feel. I mean, I saw the ticket prices. The cheapest ticket to get into the Barclays Center is like $300, like $300 something. So they're charging people like it's a damn big fight. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes at the gate and at the box office. You know, I probably won't watch another Ryan Garcia fight if he quits or gets a beating from Devin. I wish him the best, but I'm not big on him. Yeah, I ain't knocking you, man. I had a moment in time where I was kind of big on him only because I seen him train, and when you see like him train and you see the reflexes in person and the talent he has in person, you know, it's like okay, it's cool. Like you can tell the kid's got some skills, but he's like in my opinion, from just watching from afar, uncoachable. All right, don't listen to nobody. Has a very fragile ego, like a lot of kids of my generation do. And it's just it's a recipe for disaster how he operates. BT, wouldn't it be funny if Munguia versus Canelo happens on PBC? I'm gonna be so happy. I mean, whatever. I mean, why would it be funny? Tim Bradley says you can never doubt Al Heyman. No, Al Heyman's a smart, shrewd businessman. Al Heyman, I never doubt Al Heyman. Even though people are laughing at him right now, I'll never doubt Al Heyman. Al Heyman's smart. Hurricane Hank says that quarterback fooled you. No, it wasn't just the quarterback. I mean, he hit the pads. I mean, he hit the pads. I saw him shadow box. I mean, I saw a whole media workout from Ryan Garcia. He can fight. It's just that he's not coachable, and I don't think he fully is dedicated to boxing because let's think about it. Why would Ryan Garcia have to be dedicated to boxing? You know, he's already been afforded all the luxuries of being a successful fighter, a championship fighter, without winning a championship. The money, he's got it. The status, he's got it. The girls, he's got it. All without winning a world title. So if he had all these things without winning a world title, why win the world title? You know, that's kind of how I look at it. Shout out to my main man Chris Reviews with the super chat. He says content is always on point. BT, I try to be, man. I try to be consistent. I think these lives every day have kept me so sharp. It's almost like a fighter. You know, a fighter that's being active is gonna be match fit. These lives every day, they keep me sharp and they keep me accountable. And I feel like every time I go live, not only am I getting better on camera and talking to you guys, I feel like I actually feel like I'm becoming a better person. It's weird. It's a long story, but I just feel like the discipline I've had to execute with these lives has made me a better person in life. So, you know, 42 days in, haven't missed a day yet, and yeah, it's gonna be a momentous occasion when we get to day number 90. AJ64 says, I'm going to ride with my man, Raymond Ford. Hey, I ain't mad at that, man. Raymond Ford, you know, I don't think he's going to win. I've been very adamant that I don't think he's going to win. But, look, if he wins, I'm going to give him all the credit in the world because, like I've said in my breakdown video, Eddie Hearn has let this kid out to dry. This kid was, you know, signed out the amateurs by Eddie Hearn. And how do you not even win the purse bid to get this guy a fight, like, you know, more things in his favor? He has to come out here, and I think he has to beat up. I don't think he can win a decision. He's fighting a top-ranked fighter on a top-ranked card, and he's gonna have to either win 10 rounds outboxing him, or he's gonna have to like win 8 rounds with a knockdown, or he's gonna just have to knock him out cold. So it's not even enough. It's not even enough for Raymond Ford to just win. He's gonna have to win and win handily to win the title. Is it fair? Should it be like that? No, it shouldn't. But you gotta understand the politics and how things are. They signed Kholmatov as a potential another player in the division that they could pair up, you know, to fight the winner of the other fight on the card between Venado Lopez and Rhea Abe. You also got Kholmatov and maybe against Bruce Shushu Carrington, another top ranked featherweight. Robesi they could do that fight. They could do the, you know, I want to see Odebek fight my boy Angelo Leo, but you know, we got to focus on tomorrow. I think Ford, as much as I'm not giving him a chance, it's also not a big chance. I give him a chance, but not a big chance. I think it's a chance for him if he really wins this fight under these circumstances. He announces himself to the world as, you know, a star of the division. Now, before I switch gears and get back to the comments, one thing that kind of makes me a little worried for Ford is that he's already talking about going to 130. He's talking about going to 130. He's talking about not staying too long at 126, even if he wins the title, which to me, even if that's what he really feels and what his intentions are, I don't think it's good when fighters talk about that out loud, because subconsciously what happens is, you know, you get put under a little pressure and then you lose, that's a way that can be some weight and dimension of moving up to a new weight class before you even fought in the title fight could be a clear indicator that he's weight drained or not feeling the best making the weight. So we'll see how it goes, man. I'm just happy to be here for it. I'm happy to be here for it. Shout out to everyone here in the chat. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a tough fight for Ford, and if Ford can get the respect of Kholmatov early, it'll be a tough fight for Kholmatov. It's just that's the big question for me. Do you think it's too early for Frank Martin? He hasn't really fought anyone on that level. Don't you think a Keishan fight would have been better? I don't blame him for taking that bag. Frank Martin is not young. He's like 30 years old. So I don't think it's too late for Frank Martin. And Frank Martin has fought some good fighters. He fought Artur Haratunian, who was an Olympic medalist. He fought Michel Rivera. He's already fought the highest level guys in that second tier of the lightweight division. So him staying there and continuing to fight that level, it does nothing for him. I like the fact that he's stepping up to the plate to fight Tank. I like the fact that he took the bag. I mean, not the bag part, but I like the fact that he's fighting Tank. I like the fact that, one of the other most explosive lightweights in the division who is gonna fight Tank in a really explosive fight. I can't. People are complaining about Frank Martin versus Tank. I can't do that. I can't complain about the fight. I think it's an amazing fight for the division from an excitement standpoint. He says it sounds like Raymond Ford is looking forward to moving up. What do you think? I mean, look. I mean, there's good fights up there for him against guys like Oshaki Foster and Joe Cordina. I'm not knocking him for wanting to move up. I mean, listen, being a fighter, I've seen fighters go through weight cuts. I'm not no professional fighter, but I've gotten a lot of experience looking at fighters go through weight cuts. I know how tough a weight cut can be on a fighter. So he's definitely probably feeling it. But I just don't think it's the best to be talking about that or even thinking that before the biggest fight of your career. It's not a good idea. Just worry about beating him and then see what happens. Falling Star says, is it your fear that Leonard Ellerby will handle the career of Shushu the same way he did with Tank? Falling Star, Leonard Ellerby doesn't promote Shushu. Shushu is signed with the fine folks at Top Rank Incorporated. He's not a Mayweather Promotions fighter. Bentley was good, champ. He said Florida boy, yeah. Yo, Florida boy, yeah. Shout out to the best team in all of hockey. Shout out to the Florida Panthers, the number one team in the NHL right now. The soon-to-be Stanley Cup champions, God willing, Shout out to South Florida. I'll be home on Monday. Johnny says, I wanted to see Frank Martin fight Ryle. Yeah, and by the way, shout out to my boy Johnny, the pride and joy of all North Las Vegas. Good to see you, champ. He says, yeah, that was a good fight. That was a fight that I wanted to see, Johnny. And, Ryle lost against De Los Santos. So that kind of chuck that out the window. Stylistically, Tank versus Frank Martin could be a little boring. Maybe early on, but it'll be boring till it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Frank Martin is too explosive. Tank's too explosive. Someone's going to land. Someone's going to get rocked. And I just think if it's cagey at first, it'll develop into an explosive fight for the lightweight division. I don't like the way Top Rank is taking Troy Izzy's career. What should Top Rank be doing with Troy Izzy's career? You think they should be moving him faster? I don't think Frank and Tank is gonna be boring though. I don't think so at all. I think if you would have told me before, even before this fight got signed, if you would have said BT, True School, the untouchable, if you would have said BT, what are the top 5 most exciting fights you can make in the lightweight division? I would have said Frank Martin versus Gervonta Davis would have been on the list, Ryle versus Colbert 3. If Ryle's not fighting Frank next, I'm all for it. Well, I mean, if you want to be technical, right? They are 1-1. I know some people say that Colbert got a good decision in the first fight, and then now you got, Ryle knocking him out in decisive fashion. But it's still just 1-1, right? So they could run it back, and it wouldn't shock me at all. I mean, I enjoy Chris Colbert talking trash to Ryle. So, I mean, I'm not going to mind it, but I know people probably won't agree with me on that one. Did you see the spring training of your Marlins? Will this season be nothing but tears and disappointment for the Marlins? On paper, the Marlins have, one of the best teams we've had for a while, going into opening day. But I'm just very discouraged that they didn't try to improve the team a little more coming off of a playoff berth. So I think we'll probably, I don't think it'll be horrible. I think it'll be under 500, like 77 wins, something like 77 wins, 76 wins, miss the playoffs, and it'll just it'll be a forgettable season. Devin was talking about maybe going up to 147 and dominated pro grades. So Ford mentioning maybe moving up means nothing. That's a good point. You could be right about that. I ain't knocking you for making that point. But we'll see how it goes, man. Raymond Ford is not Devin Haney. Raymond Ford is not that, like all respect to brother Raymond Ford, he is not that caliber of fighter. Good fighter. Not that caliber of fighter. Not Devin Haney caliber. You know, but a good fighter. We'll see how it goes. We'll definitely see how it goes for Raymond Ford. I'm excited to be here. That's all I can say. I'm excited to be here. Looking forward to the whole card. Looking forward to going to the Hall of Fame tomorrow. And, yeah. Johnny said, I believe in myself. Johnny said, did you get a chance to interview Angelo, by the way? No, I didn't get a chance to interview him this morning. But I'll be back in Vegas before his fight. So we can get the Angelo interview anytime, you know. I'll get Angelo before he fights when I'm back in Vegas. MEZBX says everybody's picking Odebek, huh? No, I don't know. I don't know why you would say that, MEZ. I feel like in my chat and all the in my comment section on my breakdown video and I've seen it on Twitter. I feel like it's been pretty split. I feel like a lot of people believe Raymond Ford. They're not buying the Uzbek boogeyman talk from people. They're not buying none of that. So I think for the first time in a long time, I really do feel like for as many people as I've seen pick Odebek, I've seen equal amount pick Raymond Ford. So I don't think everybody's picking Odebek. He says, I hear a lot of people picking Odebek. I've seen a lot of people picking Raymond Ford. You know, I've been getting arguments since Sunday. I've been arguing with some of my close fighters I know in boxing that I'm cool with. Like shout out to my guy Ian Green, who's from New Jersey. He messaged me on Sunday talking about skills pay the bills. Skills pay the bills. You gonna see. And I said, yeah, you gonna see. So me and Ian Green were usually cool. But right now, Ian Green ain't seeing eye to eye on this. He got Raymond Ford because that's his New Jersey brethren, and I got Odebek. Hyro says, deep down, you want Ray Savage to win. No, I don't, Hyro. Stop. Absolutely not. I don't know. I don't know where you're getting that from. I don't know where the guys are you getting that from. And you probably just trying to get me riled up and to say some crazy shit. But that's definitely not what I want to happen. But I'll tell you this: if he did do it, if he did beat Odebek, you know who he's got to fight next, and he knows who he's got to fight next. What chances do you give Abe versus Venado? I think Abe could outbox. I honestly think Rhea Abbey could outbox Venado. Venado leaves his chin right there in the air. Venado, defense is horrible. He wins fights just because of how unorthodox he is in his athleticism. But I think if Rhea Abbey can stay defensively sharp the whole fight, he could outbox him. He's sharp enough. He punches hard enough. When he fought Kiko, he fought a guy in Kiko who I think, I don't know what you think, Johnny, but I think personally Kiko Martinez is craftier. I think Kiko Martinez might even be a bit of a bigger puncher than a guy like Venado. So I give him a good chance to win, a really good chance. Shout out to everyone here. Make sure you smash that like button. Kurt and Santos should have engaged more. That could have been a classic. Kurt and who? Kurt Scobie? If Abe wins, I bet Dred's going to fight for the... Top rank, shout out to Dred Gonzalez. Top rank is just... They fiending to give Dred a title shot. Dred's just sitting in the background in the doldrum saying... like a crackhead. He's like, hey, y'all got any more of them title shots? What does he have, like 4 or 5 title shots, Joette? He's always fighting these guys for the title. What do I think about Gary Anton Russell versus Super Matias? Amazing fight. If it could ever happen, great. But Gary Anton Russell ain't really been seen or heard much from. So I would like to get some new. I personally because I feel like once every 2 lives, somebody mentions Gary Anton Russell's name. I would like for Gary Anton Russell to get something in the works, you know. Didi wants to know, is Pops doing a live tomorrow for the fight? I love his energy. Yes, Pops will be live for the fight. I'll be live in the early afternoon at the Hall of Fame just to give you guys a tour and take you guys to my little trip there. And then Pops will be live at night for the actual Odebek Kholmatov versus Romero for a fight. So yes, you will get a Pops live. You'll get a BT live. You'll get post-fight review videos. And who knows who I will run into tomorrow at the fights. Maybe you'll get some interviews. Who knows? But a lot of good content on the way. Ruben Villa, Joel Gonzalez is a fight I'd like to see. And that's a fight. That sounds exactly like a fight Top Rank would do. Honestly. Johnny says, Tigre won, by the way. Shout out to Tigre. Hey, BT, the Bucks playing the Bulls right now. What's the chance we can get both these MFs to lose? I mean, I would say... if they're playing each other, they can't both lose at the same time. But I mean, I'm not a big basketball guy like that anymore. But you know, shout out to the Bucks and the Bulls. Let me see. BT, I hope PBC bounces back. I mean, I hope they bounce back too. I'm not a PBC head. I'm not as big of a PBC hater as you think. I just tell the truth. I tell the truth about a lot of things in boxing, and people think it's hate, but just how it is. But shout out to everyone here. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe, super chat, all that good stuff. We here. We have 31 likes. If you haven't touched that like button, what you waiting for, man? It's like 10:39. So, who knows? I'm gonna feel it out. I said an hour. Might be a little longer. You know, there's more people. There's more people here than I thought there would be. There's good comments and good interaction. So I might let it ride for a little bit. We'll see. Is Polanco by a KO a good bet against Tariq Zaina? It's a good question. I haven't watched Tariq Zaina fight in like a solid 2 years, so I don't know how he's developed, but I'd take it. What are the odds on that? Matias will and determination will give any great boxer their greatest challenge. The man is a Terminator. Yeah, a lot of people just assume that Devin Haney and Tio would beat Subodh Matias because they just get caught up in who Tio is, who Devin is. But I'm sorry, man. You gotta fight the fights. You can't live off of reputation. You know, same thing tomorrow with Odebek. Odebek can't just live off reputation. And Subodh Matias and Haney and Tio can't just live off reputation. They gotta get in the ring. They gotta show against another real one that they are everything that they say they are. You know, and take that IBF title off of them. Until then, it's all just hearsay. It's all just flapping the gums. What did T.I. say? Everybody want to be the king of the South. What did he say after that? They just run their mouth. I'm a little tired. I can't remember my early 2000s rap lyrics right now, but yeah. Minus 165 from KO are pretty gods. Yeah, I take it. I take those odds. And you know, Tariq Zaina, from the little bit I do remember watching him fight 2 years ago, he seemed like the kind of guy Juan Polanco would knock out. Yeah, me too, Koki. I hope they go ahead and they just announce Matias' next opponent soon because I want to see him in the ring and I want to know who he's fighting and I want to get my content done for that and you know those kind of things. Johnny says, when the smoke clears, who is the man? Shakur, Devin, or Tank? Well, in order for me to know that, they would all actually have to fight each other. And I'm pessimistic about them three ever fighting each other. But if I had to pick a guy out that bunch, even though like his stock is down right now, you know, look, I was a Shakur guy when he first turned pro. I'd probably still lean a little towards Shakur. But Devin Haney, I feel like that fight, Devin to me has really shown me a lot these last couple years. So, yeah. Najee Lopez got a gift against Escudero and it cost me $1,500. Did you watch the Najee fight last night? No, I didn't. I didn't watch it. I'm gonna watch it soon. You'll know when I drop a video on the fight, you'll know that I watched the fight. But I've been hearing, like ever since it's happened, I've been hearing like conflicting opinions that some like I've gotten phone calls and messages saying Najee got a gift. Some people have been saying that Najee won, so I have to watch for myself and come to my own surmise because it's everywhere. Koki says Lopez did enough to win, but he has a lot to work on. That's probably what I bet you without even watching the fight. That's probably the case. People probably expected Najee to go in there and blast out Escudero. He didn't. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta watch the fight. But shout out to all 34 of you here. Guys, do me a favor before I go back to acknowledging the comments. If you haven't done so already, smash that like button and let me know where you guys watching it live from. I'm taking a roll call. I'm taking some attendance. I want to see how global we are. Where you guys watching it live from and commenting from. I'm out here in upstate New York. Where y'all at? I'm more of a Haney fan just because I love the way he's been moving and proving himself, even though I felt Shakur is the most talented one. Yeah, Devin's dad, Bill, has done a great job managing him. I think he's one of the best managers in boxing. He's put on a masterclass in boxing management. And speaking as someone who's an aspiring manager myself, I kind of look up to OG Bill in that department as far as managing Devin. He's done a great job. Shout out to my man, Son of Apollo, with the $1.99 super chat. Good to see you, Son of Apollo. Appreciate you, champ. Thank you for your contributions. Tampa, Florida in the building. We got Tampa in the building. Okay, shout out to Tampa. If you can't hurt Matias, you're gonna have a long, long night. I think so. You gotta get his respect. It's all well and good. It's all well and good to be more skillful than him, and you gotta be very well conditioned to even have a chance to beat Matias. Because yeah, sure, maybe you can hit him, but can you withstand what's gonna be coming your way? Round by round. Milwaukee in the building. Good shout out to Milwaukee. What's your final prediction for Oldbeck and Ford? Yeah, I dropped a breakdown video on it, so I would advise that you go watch it because I highlighted the strengths, weaknesses of both fighters. I thought it was a pretty damn good breakdown video, honestly. But my final prediction for the fight is I got Oldbeck Kholmatov by unanimous decision. I think he will win a workmanlike unanimous decision. I think the way the fight's going to play out is this is how I think the fight's going to play out. I think it'll be a pretty even fight for the first 4 or 5 rounds. I think Raymond Ford will have his moments boxing. The speed will be on display. The counterpunch will be on display. But somewhere in the first 4 to 5 rounds, Raymond Ford is going to either feel the pressure or get hit with a shot that he don't like, and he's going to go into survival mode. And when he goes into survival mode after the first 5 rounds, I think Oldbeck will continue to land punches and, outwork him and, score. But I think Raymond Ford will be just crafty enough, just athletic enough to avoid getting stopped and hurt too badly. And I think he'll go the distance, but I think he loses like a 116, 112, 111, workmanlike, unanimous decision. So we'll see. You don't think Shakur Stevenson is going to help Ray Savage? Not really, because when Raymond Ford fought Edward Vasquez, Shakur helped him. Shakur's helped Raymond Ford out before. Like, what does that mean? Shakur Stevenson can't go in there and fight for Raymond Ford. What the hell does that mean? Yeah, it's good. It's good sparring, but like Shakur Stevenson doesn't even have the same style as Oldbeck. He's a southpaw, and that's where the similarities end as far as style. Shakur don't throw the amount of punches as Oldbeck. He ain't as big as Oldbeck. He ain't as physically strong as Oldbeck. So it's a little different, but that's how I see it. Shout out to David Esther in Indianapolis. Good to see you. Benavidez versus Beterbiev is going to be the fight that helps make boxing the #1 sport again. I love that fight, and I think that fight's pure destruction. I think I've been very adamant for years. I've been saying it for years. Anyhow, Benavidez steps in the ring with Beterbiev. Beterbiev punching 50 to 80 holes to Benavidez. I don't give a damn when they fight. He not being no damn Beterbiev. He's too complete. If Ryan beats Devin, what does that mean for boxing? Ryan Garcia beating Devin Haney to become WBC champion would be crazy. It would be like, it would flip the whole division on its head. Like, I don't know. I have to really sit down and think about that one because I think boxing will become a lot more mainstream if Ryan wins. Naheem, the cock boxer, says, your pops told me about you. I need a manager. boxer coming out of Staten Island. Okay, shout out to you, man. I mean, I'm not managing fighters right now. It's an aspiration of mine, but yeah, hit me on Instagram. You've seen Odebeck. What kind of sparring does he get in Florida compared to Raymond Ford? Well, look, he didn't do this. Remember, Odebeck did not do his camp for this fight in Florida. He did this camp in California, where with Joel Diaz. So he's with he was getting some good work out there. I know he sparred this one really good prospect who I can't remember right now, but he sparred him. I'm sure he's been sparring like the Uzbeks, like Merjan. He's been getting good work out there. And he even said it himself in his interview that the one thing he's been working on is tightening up his defense. You know, which I think was probably a weakness of his, because he was so good offensively. He was such a freight train offensively that sometimes he needed defense in his fight. So he's tightening that up. I think he's more athletic than people realize. I don't think he's as slow as everybody says he is. He's a very good outside boxer. He's got great conditioning. I think, oh, and on top of that, he sparred Gervonta Davis. He sparred Gervonta Davis before Gervonta fought Hector Garcia. And from the reports I heard, and I got multiple reports from my people in Florida. I didn't watch it, but I heard it was a very, very competitive sparring session. Do you believe his performance can decline leaving his trainer? Yes. That's actually my number one concern for Odebeck is now that he's now with Timur Bragimov, you know, like getting a new coach with new ideas, and could it actually take away a little bit from the things he does do well? That's my worry. What does a win over Beterbiev do for Benavidez? Oh my God! For me, I mean, I can't speak for nobody else but me, but to me, that would cement Dave Benavidez to me as a clear-cut top 5 pound fighter. Because then you're looking at all the things he's done in his career, being guys like Plant, Andrade, being the youngest super middleweight champion in history. And now to get a guy like Beterbiev, who has 100% knockouts on his resume, who can box, who can punch, who can do everything under the sun, one of the most complete fighters in the world, be amazing. You wished Andre Ward lost, and he never did. He did lose. He lost the first fight against Kovalev. He did lose the fight, but we're not talking about Andre Ward. He lost the first fight against Kovalev. Clearly, people were giving him rounds for just surviving. Johnny wants to know, what is my dream interview in boxing? I can't say that. I can't say on here what my dream interview is on boxing, because if I say what my dream interview here is on boxing, I'll blow my cover. But Johnny, all I'll say is what's the code? What code could I use to? All I'll say is, Johnny. Yeah, I can't really say. I'm not gonna say it here. But as far as a fighter, because the person I wanted to interview wasn't a fighter, it was somebody in the media. My dream interview as far as a fighter would be probably George Foreman. I like George Foreman a lot. Big George Foreman fan. Will you finally admit Andre was overrated? Absolutely not. Because he lost at 168. He was old. It was never meant for him to fight Benavidez at 68. Yeah, he lost. He got his ass whooped badly. But still, 2-division champion, world amateur champion, U.S. Olympian. A lot of fighters who put on boxing gloves don't even have half that career. So I'm not going to sit here and say he's overrated because he lost at a weight class he really shouldn't even have been at. David says, I put a little money on Odebeck. I think he will win. Hope for your sake, man, because I'm sure that Najee thing must have pissed you off. Raymond Ford's stamina is the only thing that worries me. Raymond Ford's stamina and lack thereof is like one of the top reasons why I'm picking against him. You act like there's no politics. Benavidez is never losing, man. Okay. Keep thinking that. These Tank fans are scary as hell. Who of the major promoters are you most tight with? That's a great question. Who of the major promoters am I most tight with? Well, I know, I don't know like Al Heyman, right, per se, but I know high-level people at PBC, so I like, I'm cool with people at PBC. I know a couple people at Top Rank. But as far as the promoters directly, I'm not really tight with any of them. I've met all of them. Like I met Bob, I've met Eddie. I've met Oscar. I kind of have the same relationship with all of them. I don't really have like a deep relationship with any major promoter, but I know people like executives. Like I know Rick Glazer, who's cool with Golden Boy. I know Eric Gomez, who's with the president of Golden Boy. I know the PR guy for Top Rank. Both PR guys at Top Rank. I'll probably say maybe Top Rank. If I had a gun on my head, I probably had to say Top Rank. But I guess is Pro Box a major promoter? Because if you say I don't know if Pro Box counts, but I would say Pro Box. Pro Box TV is probably Pro Box TV. I'll say Pro Box because I know the two main matchmakers. I know the owners. I know everybody. My friend fights for them, so I'll say Pro Box. Johnny Cortillo says, "What is your biggest motivation in boxing as far as covering the sport?" That's a great question. So at first it was initially supposed to just be, I wanted to make my dreams come true when I was like in my early 20s and when I was 19 and just be like, cover the sport at the highest level, go to the fights and, thank the Lord I'm doing that now. But now it's taken on a whole different meaning. Now it's like I want to really be everything I say I am, be the home of boxing on YouTube, give people great content. So my motivation is just to keep the viewers of True School Sports satisfied because I actually do care about people that watch the channel and giving you guys great content. And, just continuing to get the other parts of my life in order so I can take care of my family and take care of the people I love. Just normal stuff, Just to not waste any time because I feel like when I was younger, I used to let a lot of things get in the way of me being the best I could be covering boxing. And over the last 5 to 6 months, I haven't done that. And I feel like because of that, people are getting better content and they're getting the real BT. Like I feel like the last, especially during these 90 days of boxing series, you guys are getting the most authentic, realist version of BT that's ever been on YouTube over the last 41 days. So my motivation is just to make the most of every day count. That's my motivation. Hey, it seems like those are some good guys over at Pro Box. They are. They're great. I love them. How big do you think Pro Box can get in 5 years? Do you ever see them having Saturday night fights? Of course. I think if you just look at it, right, because their first card, Pro Box's first card was February of 2022, which I went to. The main event was Jimmy Kelly versus Kanat Islam. Pete Dobson fought Jose Miguel Borrego on the undercard. Okay? In that space of time, in 2 years' time, they've got almost 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. They've bought Boxing Scene, and they become, I think, apart from my own channel, because I'm biased as hell for True School, apart from True School Sports, they become one of the best news sources for boxing. So I think they're on a great upward trajectory, honestly. And I'm just happy that, my buddy, my guy, Angelo Leo, is being treated the way Angelo should be treated with Pro Box, getting fights actively and, getting the chance to really show the world what he could do. So I love Pro Box. I think Pro Box has a chance to be the best promotional company in boxing in 5 years, honestly. They're doing everything the right way. Do you feel boxing announcers, commentators, or whatever you want to call them are as exciting today like Jim? No, man. Jim Lampley and HBO boxing, they just get, and even if they were calling them smaller fights, they just gave you that big fight feel. They did an amazing job. Daniel Rubin says, "Let's go, Pro Box." That's right. Shout out to my man, Daniel. Pro Box in the building. Is it true that Joe McClellan had knockdown? I believe so. I think I read that one time, Ernie. Joe McClellan was a fearsome puncher. Who was your favorite boxer growing up? My favorite boxers growing up as a kid were Bernard Hopkins and Manny Pacquiao. Those two guys. Bernard Hopkins, Manny Pacquiao. Love those two guys. Especially Bernard Hopkins because Bernard Hopkins versus Trinidad was my introduction to boxing. I was 6 years old. My dad sat me in front of the TV and we watched Hopkins versus Trinidad. What a fight. I mean, what an amazing introduction to boxing. Shout out to everyone here, man. It's the Untouchable True School Sports Empire. Run them likes up, man. I'll tell you guys like this. We're an hour and 4 minutes in right now, so I'm gonna go to an hour and 30 minutes. If we get 50 likes before the 90-minute mark, before the hour and a half mark, I will stay on live for 2 hours. I'll give you guys the rare 2-hour non-live fight reaction stream. So if you run up to 50, I'll stay for. I'll give you guys an extra 30. BT, are you gonna miss Vegas? I'm definitely gonna I already miss Vegas. Vegas is like my second home, and it's like I told Johnny and all my friends this. Like every time I go back to Vegas, I feel like I'm I'm visiting less and less. So who knows? You guys may look up one day, and I may just a kid from Henderson, just a kid from North Las Vegas, or just a kid from a Spring uh was it Spring Valley? Yeah, Spring Valley. You know. Have you ever asked Pro Box to give you a shot at commentating on Pro Box? Daniel, would give him a shot. I want to see it. I like Pro Box. I've never asked for it, but if anything was ever brought up my way, I would never. If there was one company in boxing, I would, consider doing anything with the big Pro Box. But I like what I'm doing here on True School. I'm not like anxious to, go do anything with anybody else. But if the opportunity presents itself and it makes sense, then why not? Can you ever see yourself doing a 24-hour live? Yeah, I could, but it would have to be very well planned out, and it would have to be like it wouldn't be like a normal live. Like if I did a 24-hour live, it wouldn't be a normal live. Like I'd plan it out with like we'd have fighters coming on here. We'd be like in extravagant locations. I wouldn't be on the whole 24 hours, but yeah, I could see it one day. Maybe. What do you guys think? Maybe when I hit 100,000, when I hit 100,000 subscribers, maybe we'll do a 24-hour live. We'll see. Howard says, nah, man, why? Vegas is for people that can't make it in LA. LA is not enticing to me. Like LA, living in LA is not that like the allure of LA is not enticing to me. Like it's not nicer than South Florida. Like it's cool, but it's not South Florida. Vegas is where all the boxing is at, and that's where my friends is at. So I like being there. Nah, hell no. I'm not doing no 24-hour live before I get to 100,000. It needs to be a special occasion. I'm not going 24 hours just to go live for 24 hours. We're not doing that, champ. What do you think of the zone card tomorrow in Puerto Rico? It's a good card. I'm looking forward to seeing Jonathan Bomba Gonzalez in action. Hopefully he wins so he could fight Kenshiro in a unification fight. Since when did Al Haymon become a promoter? I thought he is an advisor. He is an advisor, but Al Haymon circumvents, like he is an advisor legally speaking, but he really is a promoter because he has like other promoters. He has other promoters that do the work for him, and he just tells them what to do, pretty much. And so yeah, he's not the guy whose name's on my paperwork, but he's pulling the strings. If you get what I'm saying, like TGV Promotions and all these people. They're basically Al Haymon. Like, maybe I'm crazy. I don't really think Usyk can beat Fury. Just way too big and too long. Yeah, I think he can beat Fury. Fury he struggled with way shorter fighters than Usyk. I'll tell you that right now. I remember when he fought John McDermott and Steve Cunningham and Nevin Pajek. Them guys are smaller than Usyk, and he got dropped by all of them. How do you think Fernando Martinez would do against Junta Nakatani? I think Junta Nakatani is extremely. He's really good at boxing. Like he's got that good base. Like he's very disciplined behind that jab. Super disciplined behind that jab. He's amazing. I think Fernando Martinez can give him a good fight. But I think Junto is just too disciplined for Puma. I don't think Puma's gonna get inside enough to do what he wants, what he's gonna need to do to win that fight. But that's a good fight for the division. Hopefully Puma gets a big fight because Puma is a guy that is looking for that signature fight. He's looking for the big fights. Know what I'm saying? Did Lorenzo win? I'm checking right now. I'm trying to see if Lorenzo Medina won. And I want to know if my boy Daniel Bailey won as well because, there was a card in South Florida tonight and I wasn't able to make it. And I wanted to know if those guys won. If anybody knows, let me know because I'm trying to see. Yeah, it looks like he knocked this dude out because, yeah, he won. So, yeah, Lorenzo Medina won his fight. He's 10-0 now with 9 knockouts. And the kid from Hialeah runs it up, 10-0, 9 knockouts. And continues to shine as one of the brightest prospects in the heavyweight division. Let me see if my boy Daniel Bailey won. Because Daniel Bailey, He's coming off a big win against one of Calvin Ford's fighters on DAZN. See, my boy Dan Bailey won. Since we were talking that South Florida, that did he win? I think he won. I'll check the Dan Bailey later, but at least Lorenzo won. AJ says, that's why I give Spence such credit. The man was willing to fight and made it happen even though he lost. I mean, look, I thought Spence took forever to make the fight, but what I will give him credit for is when he was getting his ass whooped from pillar to post, he didn't look for a way out. And that's more than we can say for a lot of fighters these days. Like look at Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo didn't even try to win. He didn't even, I'm hoping, like, I'm really hoping Raymond Ford don't do that tomorrow. Like, honestly, I hope he come and try to win. Because I hate when fighters talk a good game and then they get in the ring and they just don't even try to win. It's like, come on, man. Will you be excited about the heavyweight division after Fury and Usyk? I will be the most excited about the heavyweight division after Fury and Usyk because my guy in the division, at the top level is Filip Hrgović. And I'm getting sick and tired of how he's getting played by the governing organizations and the sanctioning bodies, and they don't want to let him be great. Like, they don't want to let him get his shine on, So he has to sit here and he's got to wait to show the world what he could do and fight these guys that nobody wants to fight. Like, they want him to fight Frank Sanchez and the IG Cambiels and the Martin Bucolis. Like, these guys that are ranked that are good fighters, but, like, guys that are not big names. So I will be the most excited when all this is done. I would love for Hrgović to get his shot. Like, he's been IBF mandatory since August of last year. And the way it's going, I don't think he's going to get... he's been IBF mandatory since August of 2022, right? Yeah, so he it's getting ridiculous what's going on with him. He can't seem to get no luck with these title shots. Johnny wants to know Spence versus Brian Mendoza at 154. That's a real good fight. I love that fight. Brian Mendoza, we all know what he comes to do. He comes to put people in body bags and just put them out. Like, just put them out. And really and truthfully, he's a guy that was down to fight anybody. He's a guy that I think if Spence could beat him, that would get him back high in the rankings at 54. It would be a great introductory fight, a great, respectable, credible win. And it's a fight that he could lose because with the cataract surgery and the eye and the beating it took on Crawford, Mendoza hit his ass. It might just be all she wrote for Spence because he's got that kind of pop. So you could do a way worse for your first fight at 154 than Brian Mendoza. So obviously, I would welcome that fight. How much do you miss Pops? I miss my Pops every day. I love my dad. My dad is the funnest person on this earth to be around. And he's my best friend in the world and someone I look up to very much. So, yes, I miss my dad a lot every day. And even though I've been enjoying my time in Vegas and now I'm enjoying my time in upstate New York, I'm looking very forward to being back home in South Florida come Monday morning, But look, guys, on that note, because it is already 11 in the morning here, or 11 at night, I should say. It's already 11 at night here in upstate New York. And I do got to get some rest because I do got a long, arduous day ahead of me. I'm going to wrap it up. But, guys, before I leave, make sure you tune into the live tomorrow for not just my live at the Hall of Fame, but Pops' live for the actual fight. Stay tuned for all the content here on True School Sports. Continue to support the channel. The channel's growing, and I'm so thankful every day. I don't take not one day for granted. Last year, I had a lot of people in my life die, pass away. Some tragically, some naturally. But I'm just appreciative every day that I'm here. So, yeah, I'll see you guys when I see you. Stay tuned for the live tomorrow. Stay tuned for Pops' live. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.